Let's get it. Good morning, family. Good morning. This is Brother Hatim, and I want to welcome you to the congregation of the mighty. Hold on, let me put the title on Facebook. I don't have a title up. I always got to have a title so we could go and catalog what's going on. Daily Toast. It is a great Nia to each and every last one of you. We are on 83182. Let's kick it. Oh shit. Can't kick it like that. We're going live. Man. Family. It's a rough day yesterday. We're gonna put on the Old Faithful. So now we got shirts that we could wear. The white is popular, the V-neck is popular, so I will be busting those out real soon. You know, let's go and work with what we got. As you see, this one is well worn, and so I think I'm gonna put on another one today, and go on and just sport that and put on a large and go on and rock it out in public, because you know we got to build up. We got to build up what we doing. We doing some good work, family. Once again, I got to apologize. My battery on my phone went out last night. Because when I started the show, I was at about like 50%. You know, because I didn't get a chance to charge it because I went straight from the job straight from the adventure to printing up the shirts. I had to go and print up the shirts, and I wasn't able to charge my phone. Or I didn't. Let me put it this way. I didn't think about charging my phone. So, you know, I need to let you know you are now standing in the congregation of the mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Of course, you know this is the Heart of a Simple production, and this is the Daily Toast. We strive to blow up your old paradigm. Alright, so we're still on the bentonite part of our journey right now. We're experimenting with this bentonite. For those that don't know, bentonite is one of the first products that probably was offered. Well, like health food, as far as health food, this is one of the first products, right? If you walk into the health food store now, and you walk down the aisles, you might recognize a white box with like a number 47 on it. It's a white box with a red 47 on it or something like that. And that's one of the first products that was like nationally offered. Bentonite is one of those die-hard components of the self-help era that has stuck around. It has stood the test of time, and you know, like I said, I'm just really running into it in this fashion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm taking it right now. Helps clean out the body. So spreads out, and like a magnet, it attracts negative stuff in your system. It attracts. It helps your digestive system clean itself out. So this stuff works its way down, attracting the dirt and the filth and pulling it towards itself, right? So I guess I had people up too late last night, so nobody is up. So let's go and do this water song, and let's toast these ancestors and keep it moving. All right. Well, maybe I was blocked on Facebook. I don't know. Well, here we go.
Mr. Diddy.
Drink your water. Come on. Drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your body, drink some water. Come on. Move your body, drink some water. Move your body and drink some water. Move your body. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Most important. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. What you waiting for? Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Raise your glass. Drink toast. Drink toast. Drink toast. Drink toast. Let's mix it up. Take your breath and drink some water. Lift your glass and drink some water. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Breathe, live, move, drink. Nope. Breathe, live, move, toast. Time. Take your breath and drink some water. Lift your glass and drink some water. Live. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Good morning to all of y'all. Great Nia. We was up kind of late last night, so, family is slow. Family is moving slow, and I understand it because I looked at the clock and said I need 15 more minutes. Because I got off after that thing, it went off. I stopped the conversation right there so that we could remember where we were. We could discuss where we were, right? Stopped it right there. Because I want, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, boom, the family was off the line, so we needed to go and stop that conversation because it was getting hot. It's getting hot. You know what I'm saying? Those type of discussions, and the beauty of that is, one, we get to sharpen our swords. It's kind of, but emotionally, it could be kind of draining. And like I said, that's what cases come here so that we can start getting calibrated. What was Brother Hatim feeling? Right? Was it anger? Was it fear? You know what I'm saying? Was it anger? Was it sadness? What was it? What was I feeling? You know what I'm saying? Or was it scared? What was I feeling? What feelings, what combination of those was I feeling last night? What combination were you feeling during the conversation? You know what I'm saying? How was the force moving within you? All right, hey, so here we go before we get to this toast. I got some news. Make sure you stay up on Gye-Nyame Journey timeline. Those of you that's getting the shirts, please post up and let people know you getting the shirts. You know what I'm saying? But, of course, we found us an article that we're going to have to go and discuss just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Right? There we go. I wonder why you was rolling like that. All right, here we go. Reparations. Why millennials aren't exactly colorblind. Atlanta Black Star. All right, here we go. This is from Atlantic, once again, Atlantic Black Star. No, Atlanta Black Star. There are a few things in the U.S. culture there are few things. Let me go on. Where we at? Come on now, work with me. There are a few things in U.S. culture more divisive than a discussion surrounding whether the descendants of the peculiar institution, and for those that don't know, that's what they used to call slavery, of slavery should be compensated. For most African Americans and half of Hispanics, the answer is yes. But for more than half of white Americans remain opposed to the idea. According to a 2016 Marist College poll, nearly 6 in 10 Americans assert the current wealth of the United States is not significantly tied to work done in the past by slaves, although most consider the history of slavery and other forms of racial discrimination to be at least a major factor in the gap in wealth between white and black Americans. We come back to that, or we can have a discussion about that on another day. It also found that 68% of the residents nationally do not think the United States should pay reparations. Great morning to you, Sister Navita. How are you doing? It also found that 68% of residents nationally do not think the United States should pay reparations to the descendants of slaves, and a similar proportion of American adults. 72% argued that the United States should not compensate African Americans in general for the harm caused by slavery and other forms of racial discrimination. Now pay attention. Released in connection with the PBS debate series Point Taken, the poll revealed, when broken down along racial lines, that among the races polled, 81% of white Americans said no to reparation for slave descendants, the highest number of all races. The numbers were much closer among blacks and Hispanics, with 58% of blacks supporting reparations. 42 of y'all ain't getting shit. I'm just letting you know right now. You know what I'm saying? 48% ain't Okay. We'll see. I can't wait to see them hold their proud bag, right? You know, hold it empty. With 58% of blacks supporting reparations and 35% against the idea. So 35% of y'all ain't getting shit. I'm glad. Hispanic Americans were almost evenly divided, with 47% against and 46% for providing money for slave descendants. Point taken. Series creator and senior executive in charge, Denise Delaney, described the poll numbers as, "These results, while not surprising, are indeed striking in the persistent racial divide and attitudes about reparations. Still, there are signs that younger generations may just usher in change," with the poll also finding that more than half of millennials questioned say they are willing to at least consider the idea of paying reparation to the descendants of slaves. Historically, at least the idea of reparation is nothing new. As seen in 1988 when President Reagan signed the Civil Liberties Act, which provided compensation to more than 100,000 Japanese Americans incarcerated in internment camps during World War II. Great Nia to you, Brother Kwame. In addition to a formal apology, $20,000 was granted to each victim or the next of kin of those illegally interned. A House report concluded that a grave injustice was done to citizens and permanent residents alone, permanent resident aliens of Japanese ancestry by evacuation, relocation, internment of civilians during World War II. The aftermath of the same war would prompt a similar move from Germany, whose dissemination of millions of Jews people would later lead to over 822 million reparations for the heirs of the Holocaust survivors. Even a few Native American tribes, which have arguably witnessed the most injustice throughout this nation's history, have been awarded compensation, with 17 winning a 2016 lawsuit that found they are owed $492 million from the United States government. Attitude, damn. So is that 17 tribes or 17 people? We need to do some research on that. Attitude towards reparation remains mixed depending on the context, with a 2014 YouGov study revealing a disparity that described as occurring along racial and political lines. According to the report, most white Americans say that slavery is not a factor at all in the lower average wealth of black Americans, something only 14% of black Americans agree with. Among black Americans, attitudes are turned on their head, with 48% saying that slavery is a major factor in their lower wealth levels today, something only 14% of white Americans agree with. When it comes to African Americans, however, the horrors of slavery have largely been condensed and swept under the rug into the get over it pile. Despite years of legislative wrangling, including from former Rep. John Conyers, who in each congressional session since 1989 has introduced a bill to form a committee to examine, slavery and the study reparation proposal. Reparations have become similar to the promise of 40 acres and a mule that never materialized. I'm not giving up. Slavery is a blemish on the nation's history, and until it is formally addressed, our country's story will remain marked by this blight, Conyers told NBC News in 2017. In the case of reparation, writer Ta-Nehisi Coates presents a persuasive, well-written argument about the merits of at least discussing providing reparations to the descendants of slavery. Something more than moral pressure calls America to reparation. We cannot escape our history. All of our solutions to the great problem of healthcare, education, housing, and economic inequality are troubled by what must go unspoken, wrote Quotes. Recalling a conversation with Chicago resident Clyde Ross, he continued, "The reason black people are so far behind now is not because of now," Ross told me, "it's because of then." Just what reparations would look like, if feasible, remains highly contested, while some claim they shouldn't have to pay for something they had nothing to do with. Other critics have cited cost and the difficulty in determining which black Americans should receive payments and how much. A 2015 analysis in Newsweek found that reparation could cost up to $14 trillion. Some 70% of the U.S. gross domestic product, illustrate the unlikelihood of such proposal becoming a reality. We'll take payments like y'all do from us. We don't want it all at once. We don't have to get it all at once. We get over several generations. Hell, slavery happened over 70 generations. 70 trillion, what is it? What they say? $14 trillion over about 20 generations. You know what I'm saying? We can work with that. Of course, you got to add interest because y'all add interest to everything that we get. You know what I'm saying? Hell, you don't even have to come in cash settlements. There's so many different ways that we could do this. And the problem is that we do not want to talk about it. The problem is that the cries are being ignored. And that's so disrespectful, family. See, this is the issue. Your pain or the cause or even the perceived cause of your pain as black folks in America is not even being addressed and some other parties aren't even willing to deal or even have the discussion. Your humanity is not valued enough to where people want to even discuss your pain. Nigga, keep singing, keep dancing, keep slamming basketballs, keep throwing footballs and dancing in end zones and shit, and shut the fuck up and just be at the bottom like you are. It is not slavery that put you there. This is the idea out there. I want you to hear what's being said. When they say and they negate the past, what they are saying is, and you look at the numbers, it's our hustle that is lacking. And some black folks get on here and say that shit too. We ain't hustling hard enough. We could change anything. We ain't hustling hard enough. You ain't working hard enough. What's up, Miss Keisha? When the fact of the matter is that you as an individual in 2018, in most cases, are dealing with generations of people who had the ability to pass wealth up. Do you know that as African Americans, we are the only ones that's been in America since the beginning that still have to pass wealth back? Me, if I am going to prosper here in America, I have to make sure that I'm able to pass money back and forward. When in fact, that's not how you build. You're supposed to pay it forward. Each generation is supposed to create a foundation upon which the next generation stands. And you can't stand on thoughts. And you can't stand on wishful thinking. It don't work like that. The pyramids were not built by wishful thinking. The pyramids was built by people getting out there and doing it. Taking the science, and this is what people want to say, taking the sciences from the past, taking the lessons learned from the past, applying those lessons now so that they could create something that would last forever. Taking the lessons from the past, Sankofa, applying those lessons in the now so that you could erect a monument of excellence, a monument that will last throughout all history. But if you're not willing to address what was going on back then and pull from what was going on back then, you will not be able to do what you do now. Hell, your whole existence is based on the past. And no, I'll be like, it's all about the now. But the now is the culmination of everything that happened in the past. There are scientific studies that even show that our experience in America has even affected our genes. It's called epigenetics. This ain't some shit that a black dude sitting on YouTube made up for y'all. It's an actual science. Look it up. Matter of fact, I think I posted an article just yesterday, possibly, on our timeline that's speaking about epigenetics. So if science is saying that your past can affect your genetics, let me go and finish reading this. I'm just family listen. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's so disrespectful that motherfuckers don't even want to address it. Just get over it. Just get over it. Let's don't even have the discussion. You got to wonder, what are you scared of? America, what you scared of? See, this is why we got to have discussions like this. Is why, as black folks, we have to be willing to at least start writing about this, discussing this, and even when it comes to elected political official, I don't care if it's a goddamn dog catcher. If somebody needs your vote, you need to know how they stand on reparations. See, because when you had the discussion about reparations, you get to determine, you get to see the real face of an individual. You know what I'm saying? It don't shock you that somebody like Donald Trump could get in office, but nobody voted for his ass? At least nobody you know? Nobody. I guess I'm the only one that find this strange that somebody like Donald Trump could get in office, but yet I don't know nobody that voted for him. And what I'm trying to say is, family, there's a lot of people that don't even want to address what happened to you. Just get over it. Get over it. That's what slaves do. So are we still in slavery? Just get over it. I just got them beating your ass. Get up and get your ass out there in that cotton field. Put that swine shit on the back of your back and get your ass up. You better be out in these fields tomorrow. Get over it. So what I sold your child. Get over that shit. Get your ass out there and pick. So what you had a baby. Get your ass up and get out there. That is slave shit. Get over it. Nah, family. We have to start evaluating not only our politicians, but even some of our friends when it comes to this discussion, because this shit is unacceptable. These motherfuckers get your money before you do, and yet won't even have the discussion. Don't even respect you enough to have the discussion. That's a domestically violent situation. Fuck up out of here. I'm sorry. But other point to America's timeline of chattel slavery, oppression, and Jim Crow legislation. And see, this the whole piece. It ain't just slavery. It's all the stuff that led up to where we just received the right to vote right around the time that I was born. I want our family. I need you to pull up the timeline of African Americans or black people here in America. Pull up the timeline. If you think Brother Hatim, if you think I'm lying, if you think I'm crazy, pull up the timeline of America. Look and compare. pull up the timeline of black folks in America from the time we was here until now. And I want you to take the timeline of America. I want you to put them side by side. And I want you to really look at the disparity of time that you had to compete, that your ancestors had to compete. And motherfuckers got the audacity to come here and look and put their nose down to you. I want you to look at this disparity and look at the head start that everybody is getting over you. Even people coming here today. Now I'm mad. But I know somebody probably gonna call in with this whole we could think our way about this shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't think your way about no 400 years of genetic transforming trauma. You don't think your way about that shit. You know what I'm saying? In 2005, economists William A. Darity Jr. and Dania Frank, if you heard William Darity Jr., Tom talks, you talk with him often, presented a paper outlining a variety of frameworks for how reparations could be made. I'm going to click on that. We're going to get that popping off real quick. I'm not going to read that today, but we sure going to pull that up, family. The pair laid out proposals that would include lump sum payments, monetary vouchers, or even a fund from which black Americans could receive grants in order to finance ventures like education or home ownership. The duo wrote this, thus reparations could function as an avenue to undertake a racial redistribution of wealth akin to the mechanism used in Malaysia to build corporate ownership among the native Malays. Laying out their own criteria for qualifying, they added, first, individuals have to establish that they are indeed descendants of persons formerly enslaved in the United States. Second, individuals have to establish that at least 10 years prior to the adoption of a reparations program, they self-identify as black, African American, Negro, or color. All right. So some of y'all might disqualify yourself out here with some of this talk that I'm hearing. Loyola Law School professor Eric J. Miller also made his own case for reparation. Part of our history is our grandparents' participation in these acts of terrible violence against black people. But people don't want to acknowledge the horror of what they engaged in, he said. And my issue is not even just the violence. My issue is the legal mechanisms that prevented us, even in all the violence, that prevented us from being able to even compete. Let me see how much more it is. This is a long article. Well, we almost done. All right, Loyola Law School professor Eric J. Miller also made his own case for reparations. Part of our history is our grandparents' part. All right, we did that. Nonetheless, while millennials may indeed be more open to the possibility of reparations for American slavery, solely relying on them to usher in change may prove to be disappointing as well. Sort of like this last election. In a generation that is generally considered to be more racially inclusive than its predecessors, there still appears to be a disparity between the way that some black and white millennials view race in America. Because some people truly view it as a race. And I have a head start. And, it's your fault that you didn't hear the whistle say go. According to a 2017 Gen Ford study, while millennials of all racial black backgrounds list racism as one of the most important problems in America, they also found that nearly half, 48% of white millennials believe that discrimination against whites has become as big a problem as discrimination against blacks and other minorities, while only about a quarter of African Americans, Asian Americans, and Latinos share this view. Certain debates spark a similar divide in attitudes, with a study also finding that a majority of African Americans. Oh, let me say this. Do y'all understand that the concept of white supremacy, I hate using the term, you know what I'm saying, or actually it's white inferiority, because this is why I'm about to say that. You know, the idea behind that is that they don't want to compete. You know, that's the rule. The whole idea is that they don't want to compete. So they will destroy anything that appears to be competition. They will destroy it. See, capitalism is not capitalism for you. It's serfdom. Please understand. They need serfs. In order for capitalism to work, you always need individuals on the bottom. So I'm gonna leave it up there so that y'all can read this. We're gonna get in here. We're gonna finish this toast. I haven't even drunk my water. I'm madder than a motherfucker. I'm kind of confused after my discussion last night. You know what I'm saying? And I got, you know, I think I might have to go in a new direction for the show. I don't know yet, man. I'm having conflicting things, because I think at a certain time I might need to turn off the damn phones, because I love my family, but goddamn it. But feel free, you know, to type in your comments about it. How should we work? How should I work the show? You know, just continue doing it in the way that we do it, or, you know what I'm saying? Let's holler at a brother. Man. All right, so now we got our water. Next step is help drink. So this morning, we are experimenting with, I got to remember to put it up, chlorophyll, and oxygen. Mine. So we're going to go on there and do that. And then we're going to call on these ancestors. Let's get it popping. Y'all ready? Let's get it popping. All right, first, giving honor to the Creator by whatever name you choose to call the Creator. We lift up our glass and we salute those ancestors. We salute that Creator, that first ancestors, the Creator of the universe. Right, but whatever name you choose to call, right? And if you choose not to call a name, you have that freedom. All right? We lift up our glass. We say, Ashe. Make sure it's nice and stirred up. Don't wear a white shirt if you're working with this stuff, because it stains like blood. So, I mean, the chemical composition is very close to blood. You know what I'm saying? All right. So from there, we move to the stars of the show. We pull out our list of ancestors. And like I said, if your ancestors are not represented on this list, by all means, get in touch with me. Text the name of your ancestors to 614-300-1875. Right? All right. So here we go. We got Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robert and Tex, Son of Davis, Herman Brown Sr., Rosalie Tilly, George and William Walter, Christopher and Gaston, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, Aunt Fiend, Cleveland and Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Pilar, Montague Pittman, Normal X, Pat Maya Ra, Malika Fakur, Dr. Marianne Williams, Coach Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusef Weston, Elder Ajani, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alpha Bro, Hector Jr., Jay Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Gail Pulling, the Luxor brother, Mr. Edith Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kel Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Trigg, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Renderman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Sprouting, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kellen D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melville Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Welly, Vita Farmer, Augusta Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Charmaine, Evelyn, Dillis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Shell Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thorne, Pearl G. Thorne, Nida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thorne, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, Mary Esther Keechler Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow, Slimmy, Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bowden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lovina Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Ophelia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kennedy, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quails, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quails, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.E. Johnson, Dorita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W. West Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martinier, Elder Amatep Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey Eleanor Howe, Frank Russell Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Vena Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy. Now to the pretty book. Shouts out to Miss Hairston, who always, every year, keeps me up with some nice journals. We got Edward R. Benson Sr., Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rashawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Charles Workle Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Urban, Hiram Phillips, William Ford Jr., Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Urban Sr., Michael Urban, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Battles, Jeanette Sanders, J.C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Baba Naeem, Tim Butler, Ramey Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., John Dewey, and Ruth Beard, Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Bet Vaughn, Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Rome Alls, Henry West Staten, Joel Jamel Alls, Miss Vanilla, Albus Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Earlington Houston, Albert Moore, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Hairston, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Frances, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Vivian Stevenson, Lily Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Doretha Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Lester and Rachel Saunders, John Bowie, Alex Nixon, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kemp, Janie Harriet Tubman Case, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino Baby Hatch, Hatch Sr., Mally Miller, Housie Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Aunt Becker, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Cottrell, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Boy Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Haley Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Donna Hill, Richard Gleavers, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Emma McClendon, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irving, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Stacy Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Hazel Gasson, Jerry Brantley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaniko Parsons, Jason Cathy, Jennifer Sensabaugh, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Pina Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Printup Jr., Milton Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, Edith Catney, Eugene Spratling, Kevin Spratling, Phyllis Lee, DeFridas Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scantleberry. We lift up our ancestors and we say Ashe. Now, family, that when we read the past, when we read our ancestors, please realize they are in here. And I constantly talk about how the past lays the foundation. I know a lot of us, because of some broken family or because of some of the situations, we don't think that our ancestors left much. But last night I recounted a story about a personal experience when I was in Ghana, and I would see people up early in the morning sweeping the dirt in front of the house, sweeping the dirt, making it look good, you know. And the fact of the matter is that in some of our families left us a dirt floor, dirt out, you know, out in front of the shack of our family, right? And you know, because some of us got shacks, some of us have an empty field to represent our family. Some of us have a shack. Some of us have a nice house with a few bedrooms. Some of us have a house with many bedrooms, right? But the fact of the matter is that because we're pouring libation for our ancestors, whatever they left you something. So if you just have an empty field, sweep the field, right? Make it look nice for the next generation. Let the next generation know that you're taking pride in even the plain earth that your ancestors left you. Because one of the things I had to look at, you know what I'm saying, when I got arrogant as American, I looked at these individuals sweeping the dirt in front of their house. I said, well, damn, at least they got a house. I don't have one. At least they have some land to pass on to the next generation. I don't have none. So as small as that house might be, it's their house. And as hard as the past may be, and as small as the inheritance that you may have received is, it's still yours. Sweep it and take pride in it. And build up upon the little bit that was left you. Even if it's just an idea. And I know I say, you know, you can't think your way out of this. But you can work within the parameters that you are permitted. This is why the next book that I'm bringing out is called Freedom Within Limits. Because I learned this with haiku. By working within a restricted space, you can create something great. Actually, it's the restricted space that enables you to create something great. Because sometimes you have to work in the areas that you are permitted or that you are allowed to work in. And in that small area, you are able to create something beautiful. Something that can't be contained within the small box that you may be in. And it might help you break out of the box that you're in. So we lift up our glass to our ancestors and we say Ashe. From their family, we move on to our future generation. Or we move on to now. We lift up our glass to the present moment, realizing, family, that we are the fertilizer. we are the walking and living, breathing fertilizer that eventually will nourish the next generation. I just hope that you are healthy and truly nourishing rather than poisonous to the next generation, family. So we lift up our glass to the now and we say Ashe. Let's get out here and heart hustle. Next, family, we move on from there and we move to our future generation. We toast our children, our children's children in advance. We toast those that are not able to toast for themselves, and we toast those yet to come. And we lift up the glass and we send them that energy into the future. Because one day, one of them going to turn on this and look at it and be like, damn, they was thinking about me back then. We lift it up and we say Ashe. From there, we move to all of our relations, and we lift up our glass. We say Ashe. From there, we move to the selfish libation and family. Since we called on our ancestors, we called on the Creator. Guess what? They here. So now is the time for you to toast something for yourself. What do you need? What do you want? Ask for it. This is your time. Hurry up. The glass is heavy. Because you see how don't be playing. We got some real glass over here, Gye-Nyame. You know what I'm saying? Don't get glass envy. All right? We lift up our glass and we say Ashe. Last but not least, family, I toast the most powerful being in the room. Guess who that is? That's you. You, and you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you, and I'm looking at you. You. I lift up my glass to you, right? Because in the now, man, you're going to do some incredible things. So I'm toast to you, and we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I'm going to give me a little fancy glass. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for, I got to get some dough. We got to sell some more shirts, because, yeah, Gye-Nyame has to become a self-sufficient organization, right? So, toast y'all family. I'm out and out. Y'all have a great, magnificent, and marvelous day. I wish you peace, power, joy in 100 years. Remember, next week, Brother Wakesa will be here. The week after that, we have the African Arts Festival. And the week after that, we got the Marcus Garvey celebration. All right, family, let's build. And with that, I'm out.